Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is attorney Shaparali from the Shaparali Law Group, and we are going to discuss about something kind of just came out, the unlawful presence for new student visas on F, J, and M visas. As you know, when you were getting a student visa, it was usually a DS, which means duration of stay. What duration of stay means in simple terms, as long as you were going to school, as long as the USCIS didn't discover there was unlawful presence. That's the most important part. As long as they don't discover there was unlawful presence, you still had lawful presence. That means you could shift to another visa probably, and also you could actually, when it's time to reapply, there was no accrual of unlawful presence. However, this has changed with a memo that just came out a couple of days ago. As from August 9, 2018, anybody who has their I-94 expiring, who has already completed their courses and completed their OPT and the grace period, they will not be able to do what we call move to another student visa or another visa unless they do it beforehand. And this is not really new completely, but it becomes a problem when it's time to calculate the unlawful presence. What was happening under the F1 and J and M is that even though you had to go outside when it's time to reapply for a visa, there was no big issue of unlawful presence. Even for a long time, you had not been having an I-20 or an I-94, because as long as you don't pass 180 days of unlawful presence, you were fine to come back. But now there's something else they added, and this is the part which is, I think, is kind of the tricking, not tricking, but at least for them taking advantage of their previous memo, where they basically talk about STEM OPT and working for a third party. One of the things that they mention in that memo is that if you take unauthorized employment, unauthorized employment means basically employment that you do maybe under the table, as we call it, quote unquote, or taking jobs on third parties on the STEM OPT. And that's what I think they're targeting here. What it will do is that they will start counting your unlawful presence from that day. And once it's time to get your H-1B, if you have to go outside to get an H-1B, come back, or if they have to actually start saying that you're doing a change of status, what it will do, it will not allow you to do a change of status and ultimately send you outside to come back in to get your status. And if you pass 180 days of unlawful presence for 3 years, you will be barred. And if you pass 365 days for 10 years, you will be barred. Let me kind of go back a little bit on this, because this is very, very important. Oftentimes when you lose status, status is what you get as I-94, etc. The only way to get back on that status, some employment base especially, and some other visas, you have to leave the country and come back and get a stamp if you have to. And then that stamp, when you come back at the airport, they give you an I-94. But the problem is that when you go for that stamp, if you have more than 180 days of unlawful presence, you will be barred for 3 years to come back. They won't give you even that stamp. And if you have the stamp at the airport, they can return you back. So I think that's the approach they're taking to curtail basically on student visas, students who basically completed their courses and want to move and didn't get an H-1B, etc. And also students who have worked on a STEM OPT on third party. I think that's what these two memos are meant to be. But I might be wrong. But definitely, this is not a good news for the students. So if you need help and know what to do, or you want some kind of guidance as much as we can, feel free to reach out to our office, 510-742-5887, or visit our website, attorneyonair.com or piralilaw.com. And make sure, if you're a student, that you check everything before you just make a move or jump on something or do something that can hurt you in the future. Because what it will do, it will hurt you in the future. It might not hurt you right away, but down the road it might hurt you when you're changing status to H1, L1, or even filing for a green card. Very, very important. This is a breaking news that we are having, and we are getting them on a daily basis now actually. But all those memos, we need to deal with them. So feel free to call 510-742-5887. Thank you very much for listening. And again, this is purely informational. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney. Thank you.